All right. Well, Marco from the West Texas Exiles, man, I appreciate you hopping on the podcast.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, man. Been looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, me too. We've been digging into your music because you've been on the books here for a little while, so you've been on my radar thanks to some
Right
mutual
on.
friends,
Yeah.
and
I'm sorry I had to reschedule that last one. I think each time we expect it to happen, we pick up a last minute gig, and then I gotta, the last minute, like, I'm halfway to a show or somewhere with no service. So thanks for having
You got to
yeah,
go with
no,
what pays the bills. So,
me.
yes. Yeah, the gigging is definitely the most important thing. That honestly, that's why we try to do like Tuesdays and Wednesdays. The kind of that can be the off days for a lot of folks. So um, me included. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, usually,
Um,
usually they.
Usually, yeah, but no,
Yeah.
anytime you can pick up a gig, I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you. Um, So I know that you guys are in, of course, West Texas, but kind of give a little bit of a, like a just a quick bio on where you're at and everything.
Yeah, man. Well, we are based out of the greater Austin area, but we call ourselves the West Texas Exiles because we have all, in some way or another, exiled ourselves from West Texas. I am from El Paso, born and raised up until I was 19, and I'm the westest of the West Texas Exiles. We got some. We have one Amarillo boy and three Lubbock boys in the band. So five of us total. We all kind of met up. Man, I met Eric, our bass player, first when I first moved to Austin, playing with my prior band, the Dirty River Boys, and I've known him for a long time. Always wanted to collaborate, and come 2020, when everyone lost their job and we had zero gigs in the books, and I was making no money, I made the decision to, hey, I'm going to spend money and get in the studio and try and record a solo album. I don't know why I did that, but I'm glad I did. Because when we started recording that, it became the songs that would eventually be our first EP. And let's see, Daniel was the one that came up next. It's from Amarillo, and I met him at one of the first shows. I want to say it was one of the first shows we had back after everything kind of started opening up before it reclosed again. So there was a brief window where we got to play a few shows, and he was playing. I don't quite remember who he was playing with, but he was in the opening band for Dirty River Boys, and they were jamming on stage before that, and he started playing some. It was a Beck song. I forget the name of it, but it was off that Odele album, and I was like, this guy he's my guy. Um, sure enough, after the show, we start partying, start having a good time. Daniel and I were invited to, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Uncle Laser. We were invited to his place, just stand-up comedian, all-around funny guy. This was, I think, before he really hit the main comedy scene. But stayed up till the sun came up, swapping songs, got him recording the West Texas Exiles, what would become the West Texas Exiles EP. And yeah, the drummer at the time, Trinidad Leal, I was living with him during COVID. He was already drumming for DRB, so it only made sense that he would kind of work on some of my solo stuff. And we kind of rolled with that unit for a little while. Trinidad, Eric, and Daniel for less than a year. And then a year later, Eric and Colin Gilmore linked up. And I just invited them to the studio. We were cutting tracks, and it was just another one of those instant moments like you meet this guy and you kind of know you're going to be in a band with him. You're going to be buddies. It's something in the water in West Texas, man. We're all a little nuts in a certain way. So, yeah, Colin jumped on the road and put the finishing touches on what would be our first EP, and that's kind of how this whole thing started, man. We've been rolling hard ever since.
Man, it seems like several bands kind of come to mind as far as that they seem kind of start by just buddies jamming, and then they realize, okay, you know, we got to do a little something
Yeah,
with this.
You know
that's
something a little about that, don't you?
yeah, yeah. That's that's
Yeah.
um that's how it started.
Well, I know you guys have been on the road some with Band of Heathens. That's one that kind of came to mind first. Just
Oh, wow.
guys, yeah, that played around, that played in an area, and then just kind of fell into a band. And that's if I remember that story right, anyway.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was yeah. We just got back off the road. Actually, I got back yesterday, or I guess this morning at 1 a.m. Playing in Kansas City the night before with Band of Heathens, and it was a fun night. But I'm currently nursing what I believe is a broken ankle, so
Oh,
it was a
gosh.
really good night. But the drive back yesterday was it was such a good show, man. We had such a blast opening for those dudes, and it was the last night of the little run that we had up there, and got a little haywire and just started goofing off, and yeah, pretty sure I have a
I don't
broken ankle, but
I don't always roll a joint, but when I do, it's usually an ankle. So
yeah,
I get
and
that.
those never seem to recover properly.
No, I'm nursing one myself right now
Oh
as we
no,
speak.
uh,
Yeah.
alcohol definitely was not involved. I promise.
Absolutely was not for me. I like rolled it getting into bed. So
Yeah,
what
when I say
it's like,
promise,
welcome to your 40s.
yeah,
Here's
but
broken
alcohol was
bones and
definitely
backaches.
involved on my end. It was yeah. Anyway, it was a great run, opening up a few shows with those guys, and man, they're too good. They're one of those bands that every time I watch them, like, how do you get better? Every time I see you,
Yeah.
I was going to ask that. How is that touring with guys? I guess because they've been together at least as a duo. Duo for sure have been together for a long time now, and but
Yeah,
but their sound keeps kind of changing a little as time goes. But either way, just being seasoned guys like that. How's that to tour with?
it's most it's 100% of the time it's inspiring. Just especially when like musicians make it seem so effortless, and what comes out is just there's no smoke and mirrors. Uh, there's no tracks. There's no goofy written songs, man. It's all quality and it's inspiring. And then about halfway through the set, you kind of look at yourself and think like, why am I? How I'm not going to be that good. Why am I doing this? You think that for a second, and then you remember the show you just had opening for them and how good that felt. It's inspiring, man. It really is. We haven't been able to open up for too many people with this new outfit that I'm in, but every time I was with 30 River Boys folks that I would open up with, I would just try and steal a page out of their book and remember what they did that I liked, and trying to figure out how to replicate that as best as I could. As yeah, yeah,
That's cool. Just picking little things, little inspiration from everybody that you've had the pleasure to play with or tour with.
yeah,
It shows because y'all have like quite an eclectic sound.
yeah. We're
It's
pretty for all being kind of grounded in the quote unquote Americana genre. Yeah, we span that genre pretty wide. A couple of us grew up listening to Eric Collin and I grew up kind of listening to punk rock. Eric was my. We may or may not have been in like some emo bands, and we didn't quite have the swoopy hair, but we definitely. There's a reason we still rock the skinny jeans. And but Colin, yeah, his dad was Jimmy Dale Gilmore. So he grew up a wild one, man. He grew up kind of knowing what this life is all about, and grew up with the punk rock scene. Trinidad, our drummer, um, he played in kind of like power trio, kind of heavy rock music. Man, that guy's had dinner with Robert Plant. He's
Wow.
Partied with Lemmy. He has lived a storied life. And then Daniel, man, Daniel grew up in the church. He grew up honing his skills on, just having to be good every service, having to be flawless every service. But it's church, and then we got punk rock, and then we got just this whole thing kind of came together in a I don't know, in a weird way. But I hope it's working. I don't know if it is, but I
It's
guess
working.
it's up for the masses to
It's great.
decide. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're kind of all over the place.
Red, you got a question?
It, no,
Uh,
no. I think there's a lag, which makes things awkward at times, but we're good.
All good.
okay.
If it's on
All
my end,
right.
I'm sorry. I don't.
No, it's okay.
It's just yeah. There's always some kind of technical something. It's whether we do this on TikTok or whatever, it always seems to be something. It's almost like you're hundreds of
It's,
miles away from each other. I don't know.
Right?
well, it's being to space and then back to the three of us. It's crazy that we're even on here right now.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
on Elon Musk's
exactly.
internet,
Yeah, for better or worse, we
No,
are, huh?
right?
yeah. No? Do you got a question for him, or you want me to?
Um, yeah, you go ahead. I have some stuff written down. I just got to make sense of it.
Okay.
I
Nice.
have the handwriting of a serial killer sometimes.
So I know you guys were all over the place, but for you you personally, you've had a couple different careers in music as far as with solo and with another band and all that stuff. What did
Yeah.
you? I guess how did you get started playing music, and what was the kind of lane that you were originally playing in? I heard the Dirty River Boys. I've heard their music before, but even before that, what else?
Man, so when I was a kid, like I said, when I was a kid, I started out. Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. The first CD that I ever got was Creed, Human Clay, and I've come full circle with Creed. I love them, and then you get to the age where you're like, I listen to punk rock now, or like, I listen to Bright Eyes or whatever. And then I'm at the age now where I listen to Human Clay, and I'm like, God, this album kind of fucking rocks, man. This is a great album. Anyway, I started there, and then I did move on to stuff that me and my mom. Actually, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. My bread and butter, what I grew up before I realized I wanted to play music. What I grew up listening to was '90s country. We had K FM in El Paso. We only had Clear Channel Radio, so one day, this is what my mom says. She claims I'm the reason that we listen to '90s country. She was surfing through the channels right before doing like Sunday chores, and Boot Scootin' Boogie was on. And for some reason, 5-year-old me was like, "Don't change it. I like that song." I never heard that song in my life, but from then on, we listened to '90s country, and then it was Creed, and then it was the complete 180 rebellion from '90s country, which was '90s punk, and bands like Rancid, Against Me, uh, even just like some of the older stuff like Black Flag, Minor Threat. I really latched on to, I guess, like the angst and all that, because I was a good kid. I didn't have an outlet, by any. I wasn't an
Same.
angst kid, so I think that music just kind of made me feel way cooler than I really was. And that was around the time I started picking up a guitar. But what really made me want to write music was listening to Bright Eyes. I remember there's a song off of the album Lifted called Bowl of Oranges. And that was one of the first times, like as a young teenager, that like the lyrics sunk in. It hit me right then and there.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was Ryan Adams is he's his period with the Cardinals those albums heavily influenced by that. And that was around the time I wanted to start making music. And I had bands in high school, just high school garage bands, having fun with your friends. But at 19, I was very lucky that I started playing with the Dirty River Boys, and Nino Cooper and Travis Stearns were in the band back then. They were, I want to say, about 6, 7 years older than me, and they wanted to take music very seriously. And as a 19-year-old kid, I was dropping out of college. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I started making a little money playing music, and I haven't looked back
You're like,
since.
this works.
For better or worse, I haven't looked back. So, yeah, it was.
It's always good to have a few older cats to influence you and kind of take you under their wing and show you the ropes.
I think we were all, none of us had ever really toured before. Maybe Travis had, but I'm not sure. We were all kind of learning as we went, but I was definitely the baby. I was definitely the little punk kid who thought he knew everything about the world, and took a few years to realize that I definitely didn't. But yeah, man, the Dirty River Boys and all that time on the road, there was my main upbringing with this life.
Yeah.
And after that,
So you said Bright Side kind of like was the first time lyrically you had been, it kind of grabbed a hold of you. Would you say like when you write, do you write more from melody, or are you a lyric lover first and foremost, or do you hear the music in your head?
For me, it changes every time. I try to chase whatever excites me first, and sometimes it'll be a melody that just pops in my head, or that I'm just fiddling with the guitar and I kind of like where it's going. And, I chase that, but also a lot of times I'm just driving. It's horrible to say, but when I'm driving, I kind of think of my favorite songs that I've written.
Right.
So, I'll try and I'll sing words into the phone, or, find a safe place to write, it writes music into notes. But yeah, it happens. It happens different every single time.
Yeah, it's always organic though. Do you guys write together, or?
We've written a few songs together. Me and the Exiles wrote a few together. I wrote a few with the DRB boys back in the day. We wrote once with Ray Wiley Hubbard. We wrote one with Corey Morrow. Sorry, and writing with other people is interesting. I don't know. I feel like touchy. A lot of my writing, I kind of have to keep it under wraps until I think it's ready. So it's always a good exercise in, just go with the flow, see what happens. Let go of your preconceived notions to what the song is supposed to be, what you think the song is going to be, just let it happen. So, the second single we ever put out with the Exiles, we wrote as a group together. Yeah, and that might be the only one. Typically, we'll bring an idea to the table and just run with one writer. I'll bring something that I have to the table, and they'll throw their musical ideas or, make suggestions lyrically. But our song Hotel Tomorrow was the first one with the Exiles that we really kind of sat down and got together.
I've been listening to that heavy today.
Right on. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I don't know if, I hope this comes across as a compliment, because it really is, but on that song in particular, y'all remind me of Driving and Crying so much.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Love them. Love the song.
Well, I was introduced to them by Corey Morrow's version of Straight to Hell. You know that?
Yeah.
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 That means the world. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you took it as a compliment, because some people would be like, what? But I mean, a lot of your stuff, I also wrote down the Brothers Comatose, just like your melodies and your harmonies are so tight.
Thank you.
I think I wrote down Midland too. Y'all kind of have that vibe.
Yeah.
I was super impressed. So I stalked you on YouTube all day. So if you have another subscriber and your view count went up, it's guilty. It's me.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to figure out. I'm so glad for the other guys in the band. We're talking about TikTok earlier, and I have I think I turned 30, and all of my social media skills just sort of exponentially declining. So now they're on top of it with YouTube, and they're on Threads and this and that. And I'm still posting pictures of my dog on my Instagram. You know, like, here's what
My
I ate today.
food.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I'd
did
like to
that.
tell you it gets better, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Also, that's honestly, dude, all the targeted ads that come up are for dog products or or cooking tutorials, and it's like, well,
Well, just
yeah,
as someone that really does try to figure all of this stuff out, you may just be like, as an example, I try to post clips from interviews that I'm posting and stuff like that, and it'll get like a fraction of the vote. I took a video that I've had for months of my Jeep driving down a back road, right?
nice.
And it's gotten way more views than any other shit that I've posted. So maybe just post a picture of your dog or your video of your dog, and then say we'll with your music in the background, and say we'll be playing here tomorrow night. Just use
Dude,
the
It's all
dog.
about hitting the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
Like you never know
it,
when it's going to favor you.
I don't know how to ride that wave, man. I think the video that had the most engagement on our Instagram was just like, it wasn't us playing music. It was walking around backstage at Americana Fest, just kind of goofing off. And like there was just misspelled text like, "Hey, here's your new favorite Americana band," and like, I don't know, like 20,000 people saw that. I don't know. I guess the you have to try hard to not try hard is kind of what I'm
Yes.
learning. You
Yeah.
know?
One of my best videos is about me asking how to get rid of like stickers in my yard.
Yeah,
'Cause I
nice.
can't go out there and like it takes off. What the hell?
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's weird feeding the algorithm. That's all I have to say.
How is that different? I mean, you've been at this for a little while, but I mean, social media has kind of been around since you got started in some way, shape, or form. But how has the game changed? I mean, I know in a lot of ways, but how are some of the ways that it's changed for you from the very beginning, from to now,
Man,
or is it just something that you're just trying to pay more attention to now?
I definitely think it's something with this band. We're actively. I don't want to say play the game. We're actively trying to, just make an effort to show people who we are, while still being kind of genuine to what it means to be a band. It's changed. I don't know. I feel like it's changed so much since 2008, 2009. The Facebook days when you would. It wasn't so, like what with the content that you consumed. It wasn't based on an algorithm. It was like just what came up next.
Right.
And it feels like it was so much more simple than,
Yeah.
like not everyone was competing for views. And I don't know. I mean, it's become such a great thing because I think the powers in the hands of the people trying to make the content, the powers now, like the gatekeepers are gone for the most part. I think when you hit a certain stadium level, they're still there. But at our level, blue collar musicians, like it's a little more of a level playing field. I think that's cool. Just figuring out how to play that game is the not cool, difficult part. Because like I said, we're trying. Yeah.
Well, something to keep in mind. I know, not necessarily as a trying to take off kind of reason, but just keep in mind that like if folks that come to you or stumble on your music at shows or you open for whatever, if they go to your Instagram and they see videos that let them get to know you a little bit, even if it's not a video that took off,
Yeah.
it's still productive, if that makes sense. I mean, it may be 5 people at a time,
Yeah.
which can be, but still, I don't want to say it's the same as meeting you at the merch table or whatever to get to, to shake a hand, but it is. If there's something there to connect with, it's not for nothing, I guess is my point. So
Yeah. I think, that's kind of, I think what I mean, like there's a way, it's way easier to make a connection with people now than it was before. And I'm grateful for that.
yeah.
I need to, I think we just got to keep figuring out how to do it right,
Yeah.
and not start doing goofy dances because
Is there
I
any?
can't.
Please don't.
Is
I
there?
can't.
Is
I
there?
can't.
Is there anybody in the band that's like the goofy dance guy that you can nominate for that? You know, any?
I
Oh,
feel
dude, I
like it
gotta
would
say, maybe
probably
not
be
goofy
you.
dances, but Eric, our bass player and the studio owner, um, he's just he's we're all goobers, man. We're all goofies.
Right.
But he just gets funny, man. You put the camera on him, so making goofy faces, sort of like just like trying to freak you out and trying to get. He's he's the best. We're gonna post some goofy content pretty soon from this last run, a little recap, and yeah, you can always count on a laugh from Eric and from Daniel. But I would say Eric, if anyone was gonna do a TikTok dance and make it genuine and funny, it would be Eric.
That's good to have in the band. That's for sure. You know.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Soul has quite a few of those in his band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really.
Quite a few cut ups.
Yeah. You need them. I mean, especially if you're going to spend. What do we were in the van for 12 hours coming back from Kansas City yesterday. You need to have that kind of especially when especially when you think you broke your ankle. You need someone to make you laugh.
Yeah.
So every band needs those kind of. Every single band needs someone like that, isn't it?
Yeah. To keep it light, for sure.
Yeah, man.
So, I guess how many gigs? I mean, I know you're doing this pretty much full time. But how many gigs are you guys kind of? What's your goal to play in a year these days? I know that changes different times and all that.
Yeah,
But
I'm hoping once the album comes out, I'm hoping it's hopefully we can get if not a booking agent, someone who will go to bat on our behalf instead of us just sending cold emails to
okay,
bands and venues. I don't know, man. I think ideally, if we can make it work, we're on the road a couple of weeks and then off the road for a couple of weeks, and
I got you.
like building up we're starting to build up Texas pretty well. We're getting there. We almost sold out the Kessler Theater in Dallas with our friends of Madame Radar. We're doing great in Lubbock. I think hopefully when this album comes out, we can use those cities to kind of play on a Monday or a Tuesday, and then hit KC again, get up to Denver, get back to Salida. We went up to Portland. I think I don't know if it's about the number of gigs that we want to play. It's the quality and
Understood.
how we do it.
Understood. Yeah, I just know there's a lot of bands that do that 300 dates a year kind of thing, and then there's some that just are going to do the weekend only. So I mean, I can completely understand both worlds. It takes a madman to do the 300 dates a year kind of thing, but
I remember American Aquarium, man.
right. That's who came to mind.
350, 250. I might as well be 350 gigs a year. What they're doing, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's impressive. And also, I mean, BJ, he can scream into a mic, man. After 2-3 shows on the road, my voice is fried.
Pretty
It's
consistent.
impressive stamina.
Yeah.
The vocal stamina that he has, man. Now, one of these days, maybe. One of these days.
Well, they just keep in mind they've also went through 17 band members, so
yeah, yeah. That is true.
and they were
that is true
and
as well.
sleeping on couches and all that. So there's
Yeah.
there's
Do
good
y'all play
goods and
mostly
bads.
in Texas? Or I know you said you have a show coming up in Nashville, not too far off.
Yeah, we're doing Americana Fest up in Nashville. What I'm grateful about with this, with the Exiles is, with DRB, they're River Boys. We kind of made Texas like too much of our home base. So every time we tried to get out, it would be difficult. Right now with the Exiles, we're mainly doing Texas, but we're getting out a lot more than we used to, and kind of laying the foundation to not just be a Texas band.
Yeah.
But I mean, the great thing about Texas is you can, like with the Dirty River Boys, you can just play Texas and make a living
Right.
doing it. And some people are okay with that, and that's great. But man, I want to tour the world.
So how long have you guys been this current lineup? How long have you been at this together?
With the Exiles, this is coming up on our second year,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. I want to say the first year we were the West Texas Exiles. Colin wasn't with us, so I don't really count that as just being like
The real.
the Exiles.
Yeah.
We really kind of find our sound when he brought his energy and his. I mean, so many of his songs. Man, we have this new song of his on the album called "The Way We Are," and his dad's band, the Flatlanders, Jimmy Dale Gilmore's band. They cut a version. They cut. He wrote it. They cut it, and now we're cutting a version kind of similar to theirs. But man, it's the way that he sings. It sounds like Buddy Holly to me. It sounds like what a lot of people's idea of what West Texas music sounds like. So, yeah, 2 years with Colin, and it wasn't the same before without him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. I guess you can kind of give as much information on this as you want to, but part of what I want to do or try to do is, of course, we want everybody to see the glitter of bands and everything, but it's to explain how difficult it is also I think is a good thing too, because not to say you want sympathy, but at least respect what the hell you're trying to do, as difficult as it is, because you don't have a machine behind you or anything like a lot of folks. But so when you're booking these gigs and everything, because you're basically at the point where you guys are doing this all in house.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, actually, now we have about a month or two ago, we got someone who's kind of really been helping with logistics and answering emails, and when her name's Kelby, when she emails people, they'll answer. It's we're starting to step into territory where, like, yeah, she might be our manager. We're looking for management, but no, you're completely right. This has been all in house since day one with Exiles.
You need someone that devotes their time to that portion of it so you can do what you do. I'm sure that's a huge help.
Yeah.
Having someone just to shoot an email and follow up, make sure you get a response from them.
I am the absolute worst. Like, if it weren't, so prior to Kelby, it was Eric, the bass player, and Colin, the two Lubbock boys. If it weren't for them, we would be nowhere. Man, they wake up and send emails, and then we'll rehearse, and they'll answer emails, and they'll call, and they'll follow up, and they'll be the squeaky wheel that that people will listen to. But
So as far as
I mean, I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was just going to say, as far as gigs go, you kind of, I guess, explain how some of that would work to people that aren't in the business at your position and your where you're at right now, trying to get that ball rolling. I mean, I know there's some yeses and there's a lot of no replies and
I mean, there's a lot of no replies, a lot of no's, and it's like I said, I think the reason that I'm not good at it is because I'm not real persistent. Like, when I don't hear a response, I'll be like, oh, that's
a response.
That means no. That's what it takes, man. It takes, like, hey, just following up. Hey, just just saw your wife had a birthday. Happy birthday to your wife. Also, you want to book our band?
Right.
It just takes a lot of that kind of stuff, and then when you actually get to the gig, just showing up, making sure your chops are tight, making sure, like, I don't know, making sure that you believe it so people believe it.
I don't want to say that's easy, but is that the easy part for you guys, as far as just when the gig finally happens? Is that where the natural, you know what I mean? That's what you've been waiting on, right?
Yeah.
So
for me, that's where I think I thrive. I'm not the best singer, man. I don't sing, like I said, I blow my voice out every couple of shows, but after God, it's gonna be 15 years. You know, living on and off the road and living on a stage, I've realized that's kind of where I shine. So for me, that's when the easy part is. You know, it's like an Almost Famous. It's like I see the one guy that's not getting off, and I make sure. You know, he's.
Right.
You know,
Such
I
an
try to use that
underrated
as my
movie.
motto. What was that?
That's such an underrated movie. It's like one of my favorites.
Oh my God, me too. I mean, back before Netflix on your phone, when I would cruise, all you had was a laptop and DVDs. I had it was Almost Famous, Fear and Loathing, and like The Life Aquatic. So for 2 years on the road, those are the only DVDs I had. I just watched those over
Mine
and
was
over.
Almost Famous, Empire Records, Tombstone,
Yeah,
basic white girl stuff. But
the
you
good, the
guys
good
seem to
stuff.
have a really good, like, organic flow on stage. There was one video I was watching, When's Gonna Blow? And
Yeah,
they were talking about you guys know when to use the hard GD and when to kind of soften the blow without
yeah.
even speaking. Y'all don't even have to talk about it.
It's
You just know.
it's
That's
funny how many
special.
times I don't know. I mean, maybe if we notice there's like like maybe this we played at a place called a church in Salida, and it was literally a church.
Yeah.
And there's unspoken things like, all right, dude, we're degenerates, but we're gonna be respectful degenerates.
Might want to keep the motherfuckers to a minimum this time.
Right.
Exactly. But there's some shows to where like, yeah, it's we even started throwing this daggum hotel. The original line was this goddamn hotel ain't a home. And then for the record, we just changed it to this damn hotel. And now
There you
we're doing
go.
this daggum hotel to kind of meet in the middle. And somehow every time we Daniel hits the harmony like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Without
it's kind of weird. I've never
without
really thought
knowing
about
where
it.
you're gonna go with it.
Without knowing where we're gonna go.
Don't even talk
That's
about it.
cool.
They just know how
Yeah.
to do it.
A lot of times I think when we overthink it, that's when things get
Right.
a little weird. We write a set list just about every show, and 75% of the shows will go off set. We'll just be like, no, what are we feeling? What do we think the audience is feeling? And yeah,
That's cool.
I think you're completely right. That's
Especially
where we thrive.
especially when it's a new place and you're not sure.
Yeah,
That's cool that
yeah,
you're able to do that. If you kind of feel like if you feel like all right, we need to add a cover, you know what I mean? If
yeah.
we need to reel them back in, what's a cover? What's some of y'all's go?
That's what I was going to ask too. What's some
Okay,
of your
Ooh.
go ahead, Red.
covers
You
that you
asked
do?
that question.
That's all right. It depends on it depends on the situation. It depends on the crowd.
The crowd, yeah.
We, I think, one of my favorite, if not my favorite band of all time, is the Rolling Stones. So I'll either pick Sweet Virginia or Honky Tonk Women. You know, if you're looking, if it's that kind of crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's more of a listening room, we will go with the patron saint of Lubbock music, Buddy Holly, and we'll do Every Day. You know, pull them in with a little quiet version of Every Day.
I would love to hear that with y'all's harmonies. I would love to hear that.
It's we'll put out a video at some point.
Well, when you
And
post to Insta, post to TikTok too.
there we go. And
brainer.
we played at the Mercury Lounge on this last run, and when it's like a bar like that, dirty dive bar, punk rock bar, we've got a few Rancid covers in our pocket. We do Ruby Soho. We've done Time Bomb. So honestly, it's all at a church. We did Two Hands, that gospel song Towns Van Zandt wrote. So
When you're going all over the place like this, does it start to, like, if you're getting into the Towns lane or you get into the Rancid lane, is there a different person that's going to take those songs or sing those songs? Or is
it just depends on. I mean, I was the one that brought those songs to the table.
I got you.
So I'll sing I'll do the Rancid, we'll do the Stones. Colin, brings a Buddy Holly to the table, so
Right.
we'll do that one.
Yeah.
Daniel brings a Hank Senior to the table. He'll do that kind of stuff. It's kind of like the way the songs we write, we bring to the table, the covers that we are really familiar with, we bring to the table.
Yeah.
But there's very little on stage, like talking about it. We just kind of, we know it's time to play this kind of cover. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
That's special.
I'm lucky. I'm very lucky to have found this group of dudes. It feels special to be on stage with those guys.
It
Yeah.
shows. It shows y'all have a great dynamic with each
Thank
other.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I do appreciate that.
there's certain folks that you meet, and you can tell when folks are hired guns. You know, not that the show's not good, but you can tell they're
No.
not clicking. You know what I mean? They're the extra thing is not necessarily there.
Well,
But then I went to see say like Taylor Honeycutt not long ago. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but her and
yeah.
her band, like they're like you said, they're goofs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before and after the show, and you know what I mean. They're just so it makes you. I don't want to say more of a fan of one person over another, but it is it's an attractive thing to see and want to pull for somebody when they're a band of buddies like that. So.
Yeah, man. You know, some people in interviews ask like, what advice would you give to young bands or people trying to make? And then I think one of the biggest pieces of advice is like make sure you're in a band with people that you like, people that you can have fun with. Because like with those hired guns, they can be the best drummer. They could, you know, play the best guitar solo, the best harmonizer. But if you're not having fun on the road with them, that's going to show, and that means that band is going to be done that much quicker. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of for us. It's on and off stage. We're goofs. You know, I think our biggest goal on the way to the venue is see who can make the rest of the guys laugh the hardest, and that's like that makes me excited to wake up and drive 10 hours to play for $250.
You have to do it with people you enjoy hanging out with, like,
Yeah.
or it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've heard that by several different people talking about that the musicianship is fine, but it's more about the hang than it is.
It's about the hang.
You can work around the musicianship to a certain point, but the hang you can't.
Yeah,
you can't fake that.
You can't. You know, you can get on stage and eat like we're not the most proficient musicians. You know, there's so many people out there who I know technically way better than us, but it's about the hang and it's about like making the people believe.
I feel that so hard.
Yeah, make them believe. Yeah.
Well,
because I am not a good musician.
Oh, dude. Every time I
decided at 40 I wanted to learn to play the guitar.
Hey, that's dude. It's never too late. Right. It's never no.
Yeah.
4 chords and the truth. That's all you need.
That's right.
Or a lie, whichever, whatever. But,
yeah.
So I want to make sure I ask this, and then Red, if you got something else. So one of the things I like to ask is like one, I guess you've done some opening spots, and when you're playing to a crowd that's not necessarily your crowd, but you see that light bulb go off where somebody's digging what you're doing. I'm sure you can see it when it's working and when it's not, and when it when it is, and like somebody meets you at the merch table or whatever. What is like? How is that for you in the band? Like how are those moments for y'all?
I still don't, for personally me, I still don't know how to take a compliment. So
understood. Understood.
I play it down. I think it's not until we're driving away. I feel like it just happened in Kansas City with the Heathens. Like driving away, you kind of realize that, damn, a lot of people came up and said, no, it wasn't just one group of people. It wasn't just a handful. It was a lot of people came up and said that they liked it, like they can't wait to see us again. I never know how to reply to that in the moment, but afterward, I mean, that's what keeps me coming back to, the 15 passenger van, the minivan we're in right now. Again, opening for a band I fucking love for, we're trying to break even. That is a feeling that keeps, I don't know if I answered that question right, but like that in the moment, I don't really know what to say, but the appreciation that I see people kind of give us
That's
when
why
it's
you do it.
yeah, man, it's I love it. I call it selfish, call it self-serving, but it
No,
yeah,
No, absolutely
every time
not.
I've asked that question, it's you're basically saying this similar thing, but you have a different way about it. Everybody kind of looks at it. You know, some people are not extreme persons. You know, naturally, so you know
yeah,
they even if they appreciate it, you can't tell. You know what I mean? And then there's like this. I mentioned Taylor, and I forgot I was wearing her hat. But hell, they'll do shots with you and whatever else. You know what I mean? So there's one extreme to the other. You know, but in the end, it seems to be that's reassurance. I think
yeah.
is the word that comes to, you know what I mean, that we're doing
That,
something, we're doing good, we're doing okay.
yeah, I mean, yeah. There's a reason we keep coming back to it. Don't get me wrong. The reason I broke my ankle or severely sprained it is because I probably did a few too many shots with the fans out front.
Yeah, you'll get that on those bigger jobs.
Yeah,
That's cool
yeah.
though.
It was great. There was a video that I completely forgot about, but I was undo. I had my braids down. I had my Willie Nelson braids. I do once in a while. And
I
someone
saw
sort of
that.
like there was this, this young, maybe like 9, 10-year-old girl who started giving me fishtail braids in my hair. I was like, oh, that's cool, man. I
I
enjoy
was
that
watching your guys'
interaction with
videos today, and I was like, "This dude's got better hair than me."
oh, dude,
Yeah, the
it's
braids.
in summertime. It doesn't go down. In the summertime, it stays in a bun. Um, every summer, I'm like, I'm gonna buzz my hair right now. Every single day.
Don't, don't do
It's,
it.
it's too hot.
You,
It's too hot. I got that thick hair from my dad.
Well, a man bun is like more favorable for the algorithm on TikTok. So, I mean, you already have a leg up.
I hope
you
so.
have a dog and a
I
man
hope
bun here.
There you go.
yeah. I hope it stayed. I hope it went out of favor. I hope it's coming back in favor. I think I've lived long enough to see the generational kids wearing stuff that, the teenagers wore in 2008. It's like, oh, I'm getting old. It's official.
Just cover a Creed song. That's coming back around too. Just cover all that again too. Just post a video on
Man,
that. So
when you hear Creed in the fucking grocery store,
Yeah.
that's a special kind of hurt right there.
It is. It is.
That
It is.
hurts.
There was a dog named Creed at our Mercury Lounge show on Friday, and we played a verse and a chorus of Higher. Yeah, but not like the it was just like this little strum, like sad boy shit. And then
Not the
Daniel hit the
whole
again.
Phil
Daniel with the
Collins
harmonies.
dramatic.
Yeah, it was. It got some laughs. I don't know if it got loved, but it got some laughs from some people.
no,
Yeah.
that's what it's about, man. Red, you got a question, or you want me to?
I want to know
Okay.
what is on your playlist. Not necessarily like musical influence, but just some shit you listen to on
Current
like I
stuff.
believe it or not, I am a Waylon Jennings fan. I know, shocker.
No way.
That whole shrine. But like I
Love
listen to freaking 8 Ball and MJG, Spice One. I listen to everybody. So I want to know what is on your playlist.
God, I should be able to answer this question easily because the tour before when we went up to Portland, I made a best of 2024 releases up until last month. Honestly, one of my favorite. Well, after we already talked about Bright Eyes, so Bright Eyes, they're putting out a new album this year. To me, everyone has the greatest songwriter alive. To me, Conor Oberst writes like his life depends on it. And he doesn't just write love songs. He is in his punk band Desaparecidos. They're like politically charged, angsty. Anyway, the new Bright Eyes is going to be amazing. Hooray for the Riff Raff just put out an album a couple of months ago that floored me. It front to back was just incredible songwriting. The perfect production, tasteful folk production. Simple songs, beautiful lyrics, and she has a beautiful, beautiful voice. And the new Dave Rawlings Gillian Welch album. Uh, that
Love her.
oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, that song about Guy Clark hashtag, like, yeah, that was a gut punch. That song, yeah,
They just have
those
something
are
like it's ridiculous
yeah.
what they have together.
It's again, it's like watching the Heathens. It's like seeing my like it's upsetting almost. Like don't be so
Why are
good.
you this good?
Yeah, yeah, but I listen and then it's like, well, fuck, I
That's
want
how
to
I
try.
feel whenever I see a Channing Wilson video come up. I'm like, God damn, like,
Yeah,
why are you so good? Like,
it,
just songwriter,
it
voice, everything.
it's such a big emotion, you know.
Yeah.
It spans. I think like I do get like, fuck, wow, I'm not gonna be that good. It goes that low, and then the next thought is like, well, I gotta try because
Right.
I like because this is what like what else am I gonna do? This is what I want to do. But yeah, it's a big feeling. It's a big feeling.
So, through all the different things that you've been a part of, who are some folks that you kind of found yourself in a room with that you were like, whether you were opening or whether you were just at a show or a festival or whatever, that you were kind of like, oh shit, that's
Dude, so growing up in El Paso, I didn't know much about Texas country, the Texas music scene, Red Dirt or whatever. But early on, got into Hayes Carl. I got into band of Heathens. The first time I played Music Fest in Steamboat, Colorado, and through them I loved Ray Wiley, and I don't remember how, man, but the prior the guy in Dirty River Boys who sang with me. I don't know how he got his number, but just called up Ray Wiley Hubbard on a whim and asked if Nino had this riff. Sounded like something Ray Wiley would play. I called him up. Like the next answered, just talked to Nino for hours. Nino went out and hung out with him. The next day or two, we were in the room writing the song "Down by the River," and like in the moment, I was like, whoa, dude, this is a legend. And it wasn't until after all that, and God, I mean, every time I see him again, like we run into each other, festivals, I'm still like, just a
You're
nerd.
like, remember that time?
Yeah, I'm just like, I was like,
Remember me?
yeah, hey, thanks for writing this song with me. And, it's, I don't know how to play it cool, but no, Ray Wiley, it's crazy. I consider Wetzel a buddy of mine, and he just is as big as he's blown up, and like it's wild that like he let us he let us open for him when we played when he played in El Paso, and he played the stadium that I got my high school diploma on. So like we got the last time that I was there, I got my high school diploma on. This was last summer that we got to play with him, and it's just yeah, people like that, man. It's crazy.
that is
But
one thing.
not Ray's definitely up there. My memory's a little foggy these days, especially coming off the road. But
The one thing that I've noticed from the Texas scene compared to a lot of other scenes is it seems to be fairly inviting. As far as
it is.
it doesn't seem like the circle is kept like there's not these gatekeepers that aren't letting new folks in. So it,
Yeah.
which I mean, you talked about Cove. I mean, he was in it, running in the same circle at one point in time too. So.
Yeah.
But a lot of folks don't remember that necessarily, and it, I guess that's part of the machine that maybe they don't have a choice. I don't know.
Yeah.
But even on the smaller level, like I said, it just seems like if you're willing to pound the pavement and put in the work in Texas, they'll welcome you in compared to a lot of other places.
Yeah. I think if it weren't for that attitude and mentality on behalf of the artists and the fans, I don't think I don't think Dirty River Boys would have made the impact, got as far as we did. I don't think the Exiles would be as far along as we are now. There's some things about Texas music scene that, some of the music isn't necessarily what I would listen to. Most of it is, but just like the undying like fandom or kindness, not even fandom, just like wanting to be part of the ride, being part of the ride that the fans have, that the bands have, like that's a pretty cool thing about the Texas scene that I'm eternally grateful for. Wouldn't be here without.
Well, yeah. I guess if the fans' attention wasn't there, then those guys probably they might keep the circles tighter because
A little tighter.
yeah,
That's true.
well, because like in say like Nashville or whatever, everybody's fighting over a really small piece of the pie. So
Yeah.
if they get a small chunk, then they got to keep it. They got to hold on to it as much as they can because there's
Yeah.
not that much to go around. But in
Yeah.
Texas, it's I don't know because I'm not there, but there's
Yeah.
got to be there must be a huge market for independent music in general.
Well, man,
That
yeah.
doesn't happen anywhere else. It definitely doesn't happen here. I'll say
It
that.
doesn't. It doesn't seem like it does. I like to call it. I like to call what I do. I'm a blue collar musician. We're not. We haven't blown up. We're killing what we eat. And a place like Texas allows that to happen. Yeah,
Which is
I'm lucky.
yeah, that's that. Yeah, I don't think there's too many markets that are that support that. It seems like there's one kind of in the Kentucky, North Carolina, Appalachia kind of thing. There's like a stream if you're in that kind of that style, in that Benjamin Todd, whatever you want to call that kind of style of music. But there's not. It didn't seem like there's not that many around. So that's great
There's
because
certainly not. It's not the case here. I mean, our music scene is
it's
a
covers
handful of, yes,
covers.
and I mean, because Louisiana music is, all accordions and fiddles and
Yeah,
are big brass, but yeah, we don't have that kind of music scene here that's just like welcoming to all
yeah.
genres and all
Okay,
styles.
so Red, in your scene, in the she's in South Louisiana, or I guess
Nice.
whatever, I guess Middle Louisiana. I don't know about my
South.
geography. Either way, with that scene, like, do they welcome new folks as far as that if they're going to play that even the Bayou Country Cajun stuff, are they open to new artists, or is it
You
still
kind of
or is it
have
still the
to
covers? Same
you have to
problem.
know somebody. Yeah, and it's mostly covers. You have to know somebody.
Okay.
Like I got invited to sing with the Michael Sanchez band, who plays everywhere.
Nice.
But I mean, that's the only way to get your foot in the door, really. And nobody wants to hear my stuff. They just want to hear me sing
The same.
Patsy or Ann because that's who I sound like.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's
but I'm not out there trying to do it either. I'm just a music lover. I grew
Yeah.
up singing in church, have crippling stage fright. So TikTok is my way to like, I can
uh,
curate what people see and give them the best version. They don't get the version of me,
hey, no,
up all the time.
that's great utilizing that, man. Every the first three songs of every set, I'm
Yeah.
shakes, man. Are the Lost Bayou Ramblers? Are they from
I don't,
around?
not from around here.
Years ago, I heard them on an episode of Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown, and that kind of got me into that whole just that kind of more modern Zydeco, I
Yeah.
guess. There's like
We,
almost a psychedelic
we
tinge.
have a genre we call swamp pop, and it's,
Oh, no.
where Cajun music and Zydeco, we replace the fiddles with brass instruments. So it's a lot of trumpets and saxophones
Which is
and it's huge down here. Like we have a whole swamp pop festival,
That sounds
and
right.
like that's kind
yeah.
of what
I
I
know that
grew up
sounds like a lot
on.
of
So
energy though. That's the cool thing
it
about those
is.
shows.
It's a
Yeah,
lot.
that sounds amazing. Our
Yeah.
Trinidad, our drummer, I guess he got with some of the Mardi Gras Indians, and he's drummed the second line, Mardi Gras, and all that. And Man, if we ever talk again, we need to get Trinidad on this because he has some stories, man.
Well, if
He
y'all
has some
ever
stories.
venture
Plus, he's
this
got a
way,
cool
let
ass
me know. I
name.
might can set y'all up with some venues
Yeah, that would be
that
amazing.
might let you play.
I would love to. I haven't we haven't broken into Louisiana in my lifetime too much. I've been a handful of times. I would love to get out that way.
Cool.
Well,
I'll
Yeah.
definitely send you some resources on that. We have a very nice venue that's out here. They do the whole cover charge, and it's always packed, no matter who's playing. So,
I love that. Built in.
yeah.
well, do you
Heck
have
yeah.
do you have any random ass questions before I get to the main question there, Red?
Oh,
No, you're good.
I just need to know you're going to ask the
Yeah. Yes.
question.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
I'll let you.
oh.
You go ahead and you're the honorary co-host here. You ask the most important question.
Okay. This is the most important question you'll ever answer in your life.
Oh no.
What is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
Little bit. Oh, the Star Crunch fall in that? In
My
that?
man,
Are you Star
Yeah.
Cruncher,
tell Matt Willis he can suck it.
dude? The
Matt
Star. I
Willis
don't
said
know.
that it tastes like, what do you say, shit covered rice or something?
I don't know, but
And I told him he
I
can
will fight
shut
a
his
man.
filthy whore mouth. But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Star Crunch are amazing.
There was a hill that I will die on, and that hill is Star Crunch.
My brother.
I'm game. I'm game. No, there's no wrong answer, despite what our friends
Oh,
say. Yeah.
there are wrong answers.
It's
Not to me. I
Star
don't.
Crunches are what are the wafer ones? Like the peanut butter
The
wafer,
Nutty bars.
Nutty
Nutty
Buddy.
bars. Those are my two.
Nutty Buddy.
Those
Those are my two.
ones with the raisins, like that shit's trash.
Dude,
Who does that?
raisins
Psychopath.
are like they're like little landmines. Like you think, oh,
You
there's a
ever,
piece of chocolate.
yes.
And
You
then
ever
it's, oh,
think
it's
you're biting
raisin.
into a delicious chocolate chip cookie and it's a fucking raisin?
I've
What a
actually
nightmare.
been there before. Yeah. Yeah.
That's like
Ruins
when
my
you
whole
did-
day.
When I was a kid, we had those little pops, and I would pull one out, and I thought it was root beer, but it ends up being grape, and that is like that wrecks your day. That ruins your day. You're like, no, this isn't what I wanted. I have to eat it now because my cousins finished the rest, and then
Oh yeah.
then you got one of your cousins throwing the popsicle at you saying, "I'm not your cousin anymore." Yeah.
That's not how cousins work though.
Well,
Okay.
Marco, I appreciate the time. I know you probably weren't ready for those hard-hitting questions that we had there towards the end, but you handled them well. Yeah.
I hope I didn't disappoint too many people out there.
No,
Not
there's
at
probably
all.
a group of people with the Star Crunch fan that's been waiting for somebody to say
Right?
so.
Because we ask
Yeah.
this to everyone.
Yeah, it's a requirement. Yeah, it started
Yeah.
as a joke on episode 1, and then that became the most popular part of the whole episode. So
Like people are like, are they gonna ask?
Yeah.
Are they gonna ask the question?
I forgot.
You have,
I
like,
forgot one.
eggs.
I forgot one. The Taylor Honeycutt lady, because it was my first in-person interview. I forgot hers, and then I had to go and find her after the fact, after alcohol for both of us. So
Doesn't hit the same.
no, she still answered. She said, "I'm on a diet, but every night, but I still smell zebra cakes." So
I forgot about it. You know what? I don't know if I've ever had a zebra cake in my life.
What?
I'm gonna have to change it. Yeah. Well, once you find what you like, you don't. Once I
Right.
find what I like, I don't get away from it. So.
I'm a fall cakes girl, but you can only get them seasonally. Breaks
Yeah.
my heart.
Yeah.
all right, well, Marco, if there's if anything else comes up with the band or whatever, reach out. I don't I don't have that big of a voice, but we'll help with anything, promoting anything we can. So
For everyone listening, album is coming out January.
yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. We got singles leading up to that. I'll shoot y'all the singles and all that. And hey, thank y'all for having me. I mean, it's
Thank you.
It's very rare that I'm on an interview for an hour and I feel not tired or bummed out. Most interviews I'm like, all right, let's get this shit over with.
I was thinking about trying to wrap it up 20 minutes ago, but I didn't. But it was going okay, so I was playing it by ear.
I'm having fun.
Thank you for taking the time to sit down with us for real.
Hey, thank you guys.
Yeah.
So grateful.